What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745. And in this video we're going to take a look at the Generalist flight suit. To be honest with you, there are a million combinations for this one, but I wanted to try out Captain Britain and Cable. And so we'll see how that goes. Cable of course can give us an extra turn right away, and there we're looking at Suit Up. It is a free action. It gives adrenaline to allies after attacking. It receives less damage from enemy attacks and is resistant to critical hits. And of course we start with a power level of 100%. Now you typically don't want to jump into the suit right away. You might as well use some of your agent's gear and even take a few hits because you're going to heal back to full health. This suit will also cause your allies to go back, often to full health depending on how bad they're hurt. I've never used it when they were really badly hurt, so I can't tell you exactly the extent of it. But for our level 1, it's Light Beam, and it has coordinated attack. Allies have a chance to join in on this attack. It also grants them Epiphany. Then our level 2 ability is Abolishing Blast. It's an AoE that causes purged, slowed, dizzy, exposed, and weakened. Basically a perfect Paragon Exploiter setup move. Then for our next ability, it's going to be Plague Safeguard, and it's for all allies as well. It says immune to Endemic, Manipulated, Paradise Lost, and Despair, all in one. It also grants Blessing. Obviously that's a pretty powerful buff. And then after that it's Invigorating Charge. Strengthened, Focused, Fortified, Agile, and World's Finest. Attacks gain Finest Hour to all allies. This can just about make anyone viable in PvP. That's one thing I love about it, granting Finest Hour and all those buffs in one. Just think of characters who can get extra turns and extra attacks, just to say the least. Finest Hour is going to make them do a lot of damage. In this case though, we start with the Abolishing Blast, and we'll show you why. First of all, our Plasma Rifle does have Paragon Exploiter. Typically we would switch over and use his Psychic level 1 attack, which is also an incredible move. But in this case, we're going to use the Plasma Rifle. And it takes out Null just like that. With him down, the enemy team doesn't have a next turn really, so it's back to Captain Britain. And of course his Britannic has Paragon Exploiter. The cool thing is you'll also get Merlin's Gift, meaning a second attack. So of course we'll go back to that level 9, and we'll use it on Kurth, which also knocks her out. So a bunch of one-shots basically. And that's just one way this team can go. Now although we're going to use this team up like that quite a bit, the World's Finest buff is something that cannot be undersold. You see incredible numbers with it. We're talking 6 digits. Like I said, it makes just about anyone viable. They can do a lot of damage. In almost any situation, it's incredible. The Generalist flight suit is a must-have. It's the first one I bought, and maybe the only one I get, but I do not regret it. Honestly, if you end up getting it, you won't regret it either, so I'm telling you right now, make sure you pick it up if you can. Now in this match, we're once again playing it a little bit different. We used the Blackest Void to start out, because they were blocking debuffs. We could have also went straight for Finest Hour, gave Cable his Temporal Shift, and basically one-shot someone with his Psychic hit. Then we could have done it again. That most likely would have worked out fine. Just to give you a hint of that, without all those buffs, we're going to switch over with Techno-Organic Overdrive, then use our Psionic Spikes on the enemy agent. Now watch the damage that Cable does, that's no joke. So he obviously would have knocked them out with World's Finest, and even strengthened. Then since the agent is so close to death, we're going to use a Smothering Shadow and take him down with dots. Hey, sometimes you don't even have to call in that flight suit, but it's always there. So that's another great thing about it. Now since we don't really have the enemy team set up, we're going to use a Smashing, and it could stun them, which would be nice. We also have the Collapsing AISO on it. So it's going to put some really cool debuffs on the enemy team. By the way, we could certainly even customize this team further, but this was just a rough run. We don't even have the Elite EISO on Captain Britain. Still though, we are going to suit up. And then, yeah, I think we're going to go with the Abolishing Blast once again. You saw what that does for Captain Britain. It's really amazing. Then again, World's Finest is amazing as well, so we'll use that in the next battle, for sure. I just love everything this suit gives. Usually I would use those buffs first if we weren't using this exact team. Once again though, Cable takes down another enemy, and then, well, we might as well switch over and use a plasma rifle to finish it off. So there it is, a 22k knockout, not too bad. So moving on to our third and final battle, it's going to be much more of a test. In this one we'll be facing Cloak and Dagger and Kurth. And they also do have a bruiser agent, so I'm sure the elite EISO. They're unfortunately blocking debuffs, so the first thing we're going to use is the Blackest Void. That'll take care of Warding Essence. Then on the enemy agent's turn, he uses the Smothering Shadow. He kind of wasted that one, I have to say. On Captain Britain's turn, I kind of go through every possibility here, but we use Short Fuse. And then to be honest, we should have just went ahead with our level 9 on Cloak and Dagger. But I was tempted to try smashing. Instead though, we end up going with a Right as Might on C&D. I have the Mauling on it, so they will be flanked and will at least get a follow-up attack. Unfortunately, this attack completely misses. So on the enemy Kurth's turn, they use Short Fuse. I really hate that purge damage triggering. And then they of course use Fear Me. But hey, it's finally Cable's turn and we can use a Temporal Shift. So after we use Primed and Ready, we will go ahead and use that on my agent. And they're going to let Cable go first, so we use Techno-Organic Overdrive and Psionic Spikes on the enemy agent. Now one thing I notice and I hate is the fact that they do have some back for more, so we can't jump into the flight suit just yet. We gotta try the Onic Devourer. It does miss Cloak and Dagger, so they're going to be coming back once. But currently, there's very few things I hate more than that. So, at least we got rid of the Agent's Resurrect. Then we can suit up. Now this time around we're using Invigorating Charge right off the bat, so now we do have World's Finest, and all those Finest Hour buffs. The problem is the enemy team does have a shield now. And we don't have any Paragon Exploiter debuffs. So our Britannic ends up doing 0 damage. Didn't even break the shield. Don't get me wrong, this definitely isn't typical. I mean, Kurth used Fear Me, they had a shield, they weren't really debuffed yet. There were a lot of reasons for that. Right there you see some damage that can come from that buff. So Cable does take them out. Then on Cloak and Dagger's turn, they use a Shot in the Dark, and it does some damage, but we're still fine. And at this point, yeah, we can use Abolishing Blast. So hopefully we help out Captain Britain. In fact, on his turn right now, we're going to use Short Fuse, then Britannic on Kurth. And it looks like it may just knock her out. Well, her shield does make it fall short, but that means one more hit and she's gone. So now with Cable up next, he has Temporal Shift back. And what we're going to do is switch over, use that on himself, then switch back. And Cable can certainly be an MVP on your team, no doubt, especially with those Psionic Spikes. So we'll just have to switch back over and we should be triggering back for more soon. Wow, sooner than we even imagined. Well, this is a wasted attack, but we'll shoot him one more time. Alright, so we just have to wait for him to come back, and then of course he's going to heal himself. Then use Blackout. This causes Captain Britain to attack my agent. It does a lot of damage, and he's going to have to skip his turn. On my agent's turn, we're just going to use that level 1 because there's really no reason to use our level 6. Well, if you want to call it that. But unfortunately, we miss. But hey, we are going to heal ourselves because of Merlin's gift. And we'll get another chance to hit, so this time we do actually land the attack, and we get another small heal. Captain Britain though has to recharge. And now with what should be the final attack, we go back to the well once again. So there it is, that's just our first look of many, I'm sure, at the Generalist flight suit. My favorite costume right now. If you haven't picked it up, try to soon. And yes, I do think you should get it first. That's going to be it for today's video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you all for watching and ask you please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.